Once upon a time in the West, a tale unfolded that would shake a family to its core. A father, desperate to shield his children from a dark truth, spun a web of lies to cover up a horrific event that had transpired. He believed that by crafting a false narrative, he could protect them from the pain of reality. However, the truth has a way of surfacing, and it was not long before his children stumbled upon a shocking tabloid article that revealed the secrets he had tried so hard to hide. The article painted a vivid picture of the tragedy, exposing the father's deceit, and leaving the children grappling with betrayal and confusion. As they pieced together the fragments of their father's story, they were forced to confront the reality of their situation. The lies that once seemed like a protective shield now felt like chains, binding them to a past they never wanted to know. The family stood at a crossroads, where trust was shattered and the path forward was uncertain. The weight of the truth loomed large, and the consequences of deception began to unfold in ways they could never have imagined.
See Frank, and tell him I know everything.
Why is everybody hounding me about this guy, Frank?
After directing the good, the bad, and the ugly, Sergio Leone found himself at a crossroads in his career. He had initially planned to retire from making westerns, feeling that he had explored the genre to its fullest. However, Paramount Pictures had other ideas, and convinced him to take on a new project, provided that Henry Fonda could star in it. This pivotal moment led to the creation of Once Upon a Time in the West, a film that marked a significant shift in Leone's filmmaking style. In this film, Leone moved away from the quirky, fast-paced storytelling that characterized his earlier Dollar trilogy. Instead, he embraced a slower, more deliberate pace, allowing for a deeper exploration of themes such as revenge, loss, and the passage of time. The somber tone of Once Upon a Time in the West set it apart from his previous works, signaling the beginning of a new phase in his artistic journey. This transition not only showcased Leone's growth as a director, but also highlighted his ability to adapt and evolve within the Western genre, ultimately leaving a lasting impact on cinema. Filming took place in various locations that contributed to the film's unique atmosphere. Interiors were shot at Cinecittà Studios in Rome, where the filmmakers created detailed sets that captured the essence of the Old West. Key scenes were filmed in Spain, which provided a stunning backdrop that resembled the American frontier. Additionally, Monument Valley in Utah was used for its iconic landscapes, enhancing the film's visual storytelling. The film's storyline revolves around four main characters in a small border town. Their lives intersect and clash against the backdrop of the expanding railroads heading into the far west. This expansion symbolizes progress and change, but it also brings conflict and tension among the characters. Each character represents different aspects of this transformation, showcasing their struggles and desires as they navigate a world that is rapidly evolving. The interactions among these characters highlight themes of revenge, greed, and the quest for power, making the film a rich tapestry of human emotions set against a changing landscape. Clint Eastwood's decision to turn down the role of harmonica in Once Upon a Time in the West had a significant impact on the film's casting. The role ultimately went to Charles Bronson, who brought a unique presence to the character. Bronson's portrayal added depth and intensity, making harmonica a memorable figure in the spaghetti western genre. Additionally, the casting of Jill McBain was another pivotal moment in the film's development. Sophia Loren was initially considered for the role, but it eventually went to Claudia Cardinale. Cardinale's performance infused the character with a blend of strength and vulnerability, which resonated with audiences and critics alike. The film's opening scene is particularly noteworthy for its innovative use of sound. Initially, the plan was to feature music composed by Ennio Morricone, a staple in Sergio Leone's films. However, the decision was made to utilize ambient sounds instead. This choice created a distinct spaghetti western atmosphere that set the tone for the entire film. The sounds of nature and the environment drew viewers into the world of the film, enhancing the emotional weight of the opening moments. This approach not only distinguished the film from others in the genre, but also showcased Leone's unique vision as a director. The combination of casting decisions and the impactful opening scene contributed to the film's lasting legacy in cinema history.
And tell him I know everything.
Why is everybody hounding me about this guy, Frank?
In Once Upon a Time in the West, Sergio Leone made numerous references to other films, which enriched the visual and thematic elements of the story. Notably, he drew inspiration from classics like High Noon and Wanted Dead or Alive. These influences can be seen in the film's pacing, character development, and the way tension builds throughout the narrative. Woody Strode's character stands out, embodying a cool demeanor that resonates with the audience. His suggestion to keep his character under a dripping water tank added a unique touch, enhancing the atmosphere of the scene. This choice not only highlighted his character's calmness in a tense environment, but also served as a visual metaphor for the weight of the past and the inevitability of confrontation. Leone's spontaneous decision to have Strode drink the water from his hat further emphasized this coolness, creating a memorable moment that showcased both the character's resilience and the film's stylistic flair. The interplay of these elements contributes to the film's lasting impact and its status as a classic in the Western genre.
And if one of them should pat you behind.
During the filming of Once Upon a Time in the West, a tragic incident occurred involving actor Al Moloch, who played one of the three gunmen. Moloch's struggles led him to take his own life, casting a shadow over the production. Director Sergio Leone's reaction to this heartbreaking event seemed indifferent, as he focused on retrieving Moloch's costume, rather than addressing the emotional turmoil surrounding the loss. This incident highlighted the often overlooked pressures faced by actors in the film industry. On a different note, Claudia Cardinelli's first day of filming was marked by a significant and challenging scene. She was set to perform a nude love scene with the legendary Henry Fonda. This scene was particularly notable as it marked Fonda's first experience in such a role, adding an extra layer of tension to the situation. Fonda's wife insisted on being present on set during the filming, which created a unique dynamic. The combination of these events during the production of Once Upon a Time in the West illustrates the complexities and emotional weight that can accompany the making of a film. Fonda was a loner, often feeling unhappy in his marriage to Frances Brokaw. Despite being a celebrated actor, his personal life was marked by turmoil. He engaged in a long-term affair with Susan Blanchard, which added to the strain in his marriage. This relationship ultimately led to a tragic end for Brokaw. When she took her own life, Fonda chose to deceive his children about the circumstances surrounding their mother's death. He told them that she had died of heart failure, a lie that shielded them from the painful truth. In an effort to maintain this facade, he excluded them from her funeral, further deepening the emotional chasm between him and his children. This deception not only affected his relationship with them, but also highlighted the complexities of his character, revealing a man who, despite his public success, struggled with personal demons and the consequences of his choices. Despite Fonda's efforts to keep the truth hidden, his daughter Jane stumbled upon the shocking reality of her mother's death while at school. It was in a magazine that she found the details, a moment that shattered her understanding of her family and her father's intentions. The revelation was painful, as it contradicted the image her father had painted for her throughout her life. Upon Fonda's death, the situation grew even more complicated. In a surprising twist, he completely excluded his children, Jane and Peter, from his will. This decision left them grappling with feelings of betrayal and confusion. They had always believed they were part of their father's legacy, yet his final act seemed to erase their existence from his life. The discovery of the truth about their mother, and the subsequent exclusion from the will created a deep rift in their understanding of family loyalty and love. Jane and Peter were left to navigate their grief and anger, questioning the very foundation of their relationship with their father. The impact of these revelations would linger, shaping their identities and futures in ways they could not yet comprehend. Once Upon a Time in the West, directed by Sergio Leone, stands as a significant entry in the Western genre, showcasing the director's unique vision and stylistic flair. The film is often praised for its meticulous craftsmanship, with every shot carefully composed to convey meaning and emotion. Leone's ability to transform seemingly mundane moments into captivating cinema is highlighted by scenes that stretch for several minutes, focusing on the subtle interactions between characters. This deliberate pacing, while slow, is seen by many as a strength, allowing viewers to immerse themselves in the film's atmosphere and character development. The characters in Once Upon a Time in the West are richly drawn and complex, inviting audiences to invest in their journeys. The casting of Henry Fonda as the villain is particularly noteworthy. His portrayal of a ruthless antagonist was a stark departure from his typical heroic roles, adding a layer of shock and intrigue to the narrative. This unexpected casting choice has been celebrated for its boldness, contributing to the film's lasting impact. Additionally, Claudia Cardinale's performance has been recognized for her beauty and depth, further enhancing the film's appeal. However, not all viewers share this enthusiasm. Some critics argue that the film's pacing is excessively slow, leading to a drawn-out experience that detracts from the overall enjoyment. They contend that the lengthy scenes often feel stagnant, lacking the dynamic energy that characterized Leone's earlier works, such as The Good, The Bad, and The Ugly. This perspective suggests that the film attempts to merge art house sensibilities with traditional Western elements, resulting in a confusing blend that fails to satisfy either camp. While the film's artistic ambitions are acknowledged, detractors argue that it ultimately falls short of delivering a coherent narrative. They express frustration with what they perceive as pretentiousness, suggesting that Leone's indulgence in his own stylistic choices overshadows the story and character development. The performances, while praised by some, are criticized by others for lacking the vigor and authenticity expected in a Western. The film's score, composed by Ennio Morricone, is another point of contention. While many hail it as one of the finest soundtracks in cinema, complementing the film's dramatic moments, others feel it does not compensate for the perceived shortcomings in pacing and narrative coherence. In summary, Once Upon a Time in the West is a film that elicits a wide range of opinions. Its masterful cinematography, character depth, and innovative casting choices are celebrated by many, while others find fault in its slow pacing and perceived pretentiousness. This dichotomy reflects the film's ambition to transcend traditional Western tropes, making it a polarizing yet undeniably significant work in Sergio Leone's filmography. Whether one views it as a masterpiece or a misguided endeavor, it remains a film that invites discussion and analysis, ensuring its place in cinematic history.
Is your valises mail?
Yes.
Come, Sam. Bring the mother to Rafe. We'll tote him.
As the dust settles on the epic tale of Once Upon a Time in the West, we invite you to linger a moment longer in this world of grit and glory. The story may have reached its end, but the lives of its remarkable cast continue to unfold in ways that are just as captivating. What became of the actors who brought these unforgettable characters to life? From the legendary Henry Fonda, whose portrayal of the ruthless Frank left an indelible mark, to the enigmatic Claudia Cardinale, who captivated audiences as the fierce Jill McBain. Their journeys after this iconic film are filled with unexpected twists and turns. Discover the paths they took, the roles they embraced, and the legacies they built in the years that followed. Each story reveals not just the evolution of their careers, but also the personal challenges and triumphs that shaped them. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the lives of these stars, uncovering the secrets and stories that lie beyond the screen. Fabio Testi plays a significant role as a member of Frank's gang in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West. His character, known for his striking presence and intense demeanor, embodies the ruthless nature of the gang. Testi's portrayal adds depth to the film's exploration of violence and betrayal in the Old West. The auction scene, where the gang's sinister intentions unfold, showcases his ability to convey menace and loyalty to Frank, played by Henry Fonda. After the film, Testi's career continued to flourish in Italian cinema, with notable performances in spaghetti westerns and crime dramas. However, his life was not without turmoil. He faced personal hardships, including a tumultuous relationship with actress Barbara Boucher, which was marked by public scandals and intense media scrutiny. Testi also battled health issues, including a serious motorcycle accident that left him with lasting injuries. In recent years, Testi has remained relatively private, with little public information available about his current activities. His legacy in film endures, but the shadows of his past continue to linger. Henry Fonda's portrayal of Frank in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West marked a significant departure from his typical roles. Known for his clean-cut, heroic characters, Fonda embraced the darkness of Frank, a ruthless outlaw. His chilling performance added depth to the film, showcasing a sinister side that shocked audiences. This role was a stark contrast to his previous work, revealing Fonda's range as an actor and his willingness to explore complex, morally ambiguous characters. After the film, Fonda continued to work in film and theater, but his personal life was marked by turmoil. He faced challenges in his relationships, particularly with his daughter, actress Jane Fonda. Their strained relationship stemmed from his strict parenting style and her struggles with self-identity. Fonda also dealt with the pressures of fame, leading to bouts of depression. Despite these hardships, he remained a respected figure in Hollywood, earning accolades for his performances in later years. In his final years, Fonda continued to act, receiving an Academy Award nomination for his role in On Golden Pond. He passed away in 1982, leaving behind a legacy of powerful performances and a complex personal life. His story is one of triumph and struggle, reflecting the duality of his on-screen and off-screen personas. Keenan Wynn played the role of Sheriff, an auctioneer in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West. His character is a complex figure, embodying the darker aspects of law and order in a lawless land. Wynn's performance captures the tension and moral ambiguity of the Old West, showcasing his ability to portray authority with a sinister edge. This role added to his reputation as a versatile actor capable of shifting between comedic and serious roles. After the film, Wynn's career continued to flourish, but he faced personal challenges. He struggled with alcoholism, which affected his relationships and work. Despite this, he remained active in film and television, appearing in notable projects like Doctor Strangelove and The Great Race. His personal life was marked by the tragic loss of his son, which deeply impacted him. Wynn also faced financial difficulties later in life, leading to a decline in his health. In his final years, Wynn continued to work, but was often overshadowed by his earlier successes. He passed away in 1986, leaving behind a legacy of diverse performances and a life filled with both triumphs and struggles. His story serves as a reminder of the complexities behind the curtain of Hollywood fame.
It would be nice to see this town grow.
Robert Hossein played a significant role as a member of Frank's gang in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West. His character, a ruthless and cunning outlaw, contributed to the film's dark atmosphere, embodying the violent and treacherous nature of the Wild West. Hossein's performance added depth to the gang's menacing presence, showcasing his ability to portray complex characters with a sinister edge. After the film, Hossein's career continued to flourish in both film and theater. He became known for his work in French cinema and television, often taking on roles that highlighted his dramatic range. However, his life was not without challenges. He faced personal hardships, including financial struggles and the pressures of maintaining a public persona. In the 1980s, he was involved in a scandal regarding his political views, which led to a temporary decline in his popularity. Despite these setbacks, Hossein remained a respected figure in the arts until his passing in December 2021. His legacy endures through his impactful performances and contributions to cinema. Woody Strode played Stoney, a member of Frank's gang, in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West. Stoney is a menacing figure, embodying the ruthless nature of the gang. Strode's performance captures the darkness of the character, showcasing a blend of physicality and intensity that leaves a lasting impression. His portrayal adds depth to the film's exploration of violence and betrayal in the Old West. Strode's career began in sports, where he was a professional football player before transitioning to acting. He faced significant challenges as one of the first African-American actors to break into Hollywood during a time of racial discrimination. Despite his talent, he often found himself typecast in roles that reflected societal stereotypes. His personal life was marked by hardships, including the tragic loss of his first wife, which deeply affected him. Strode also faced struggles with the industry, often fighting for more substantial roles and recognition. In his later years, Strode continued to act, but also became involved in various humanitarian efforts. He remained a figure of resilience, advocating for civil rights and representation in film. His last known appearances were in the 1990s, and he passed away in 1994. Strode's legacy endures as a pioneer who broke barriers in Hollywood, leaving behind a complex narrative of triumph and tragedy. Claudia Cardinale's portrayal of Jill McBain in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West is a haunting representation of a woman caught in a world of violence and betrayal. Her character, a strong yet vulnerable figure, navigates the harsh realities of the American frontier, embodying both resilience and tragedy. Cardinale's performance is marked by a deep emotional range, capturing Jill's struggle for survival and her quest for justice in a lawless land. After the film, Cardinale's career continued to flourish, with notable roles in films like The Leopard and The Professionals. However, her life was not without turmoil. She faced personal hardships, including a tumultuous relationship with director Pasquale Scudieri, which ended in a bitter divorce. Cardinale also dealt with the pressures of fame, leading to periods of isolation and introspection. Scandals, such as her involvement in the controversial film industry practices of the time, added to her complex public image. In recent years, Claudia Cardinale has remained a respected figure in cinema, participating in film festivals and advocating for women's rights in the industry. As of now, she continues to live in Paris, where she reflects on her storied past while remaining an enigmatic presence in the film world.
Frank?
Charles Bronson's portrayal of Harmonica in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West is a haunting performance that encapsulates the character's enigmatic nature. Harmonica is a man driven by revenge, his past shrouded in mystery, and his presence marked by a chilling calmness. Bronson's ability to convey deep emotion with minimal dialogue adds to the character's complexity, making him a memorable figure in the Western genre. The film's iconic score, combined with Bronson's stoic demeanor, creates an atmosphere of tension and foreboding. After the film, Bronson's career continued to flourish, with notable roles in films like The Great Escape and Death Wish. However, his life was not without turmoil. He faced personal hardships, including the tragic loss of his first wife, Harriet, to cancer in 1965. This loss deeply affected him, leading to a more solitary lifestyle. Bronson was also involved in several controversies, including a public feud with actor Jack Palance and a tumultuous relationship with the media, which often portrayed him as a tough guy stereotype. In his later years, Bronson struggled with health issues, including pneumonia and a series of strokes. He passed away in 2003, leaving behind a legacy of iconic roles and a life marked by both triumph and tragedy. His final years were spent in relative seclusion, reflecting on a career that had made him a symbol of rugged masculinity in cinema. In the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West, Lionel Stander plays the role of the barman, a character that serves as a quiet observer in the unfolding drama. His presence adds a layer of tension and intrigue as he witnesses the violent clashes and personal vendettas that define the story. Stander's performance is marked by a subtle intensity, capturing the essence of a man who knows more than he lets on, embodying the dark undercurrents of the Wild West. Stander's career spanned several decades, with notable roles in television and film. He gained fame in the 1950s with the series The Tall Man, and later appeared in various films, but his life was not without turmoil. He faced personal hardships, including a tumultuous marriage to actress Marianne Motley, which ended in divorce. Stander was also involved in a scandal in the 1970s, when he was accused of being a member of the Communist Party, leading to a temporary decline in his career. Despite these challenges, he continued to work, appearing in popular shows like Heart to Heart. In his later years, Stander lived a quieter life, often reflecting on his past. He passed away in 1998, leaving behind a legacy marked by both triumph and struggle. His final years were spent away from the spotlight, but his contributions to film and television remain significant. Jason Robards portrayed Manuel Cheyenne Gutierrez in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West, a role that showcased his ability to embody complex characters. Cheyenne is a bandit with a sense of honor, caught in a world of violence and betrayal. Robards brought depth to the character, balancing charm and menace, which left a lasting impression on audiences. His performance contributed to the film's status as a classic in the Western genre. After the film, Robards faced personal and professional challenges. He struggled with alcoholism, which affected his career and relationships. Despite these hardships, he continued to work in theater and film, earning acclaim for his roles in productions like A Moon for the Misbegotten and All the President's Men. His career was marked by a series of triumphs, including 2 Academy Awards, but the shadow of his personal demons loomed large. In his later years, Robards battled health issues, including lung cancer, which ultimately led to his death in 2000. His legacy remains, not just for his performances, but for the resilience he showed in overcoming personal struggles. The last known information about him reflects a man who, despite his challenges, left an indelible mark on American cinema and theater. Frank Wolf's portrayal of Brett McBain in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West is a haunting performance that captures the essence of a man caught in a web of violence and betrayal. McBain, a character marked by tragedy, becomes a victim of ruthless ambition and greed, setting the stage for the film's dark narrative. Wolf's ability to convey deep emotional turmoil and vulnerability made McBain's fate all the more impactful, leaving a lasting impression on audiences. After the film, Wolf's career saw a decline. He struggled to find roles that matched the depth of his performance in Once Upon a Time in the West. His personal life was fraught with challenges, including battles with depression and substance abuse. Wolf faced scandals that tarnished his reputation, including tumultuous relationships and financial difficulties. He became increasingly reclusive, distancing himself from the Hollywood scene. In the years leading up to his death in 1971, Wolf's life spiraled further into darkness. He was found dead in his apartment, a tragic end to a once promising career. The circumstances surrounding his death remain shrouded in mystery, leaving fans and film historians to ponder the complexities of his life. His legacy endures through his memorable performances, particularly as Brett McBain, a character forever etched in the annals of cinematic history.
Well, come on, my friends, $200. The livestock alone is worth twice that much.
Jack Elam's portrayal of Snakey, a member of Frank's gang in the 1968 film Once Upon a Time in the West, is marked by a sinister charm. His character, with a sly demeanor and a penchant for violence, embodies the ruthless nature of the gang. Elam's unique appearance, characterized by his prominent facial features and piercing gaze, adds a layer of menace to Snakey, making him a memorable antagonist in the film. This role solidified Elam's reputation as a skilled character actor in the Western genre. After the film, Elam's career continued to flourish, with notable appearances in various television shows and movies. However, his life was not without challenges. He faced personal hardships, including struggles with alcoholism, which affected his relationships and career. Despite these issues, Elam remained a beloved figure in Hollywood, known for his wit and humor. He also dealt with the tragic loss of his first wife, which deeply impacted him. In his later years, Elam found solace in his family and continued to work in the industry until his health declined. He passed away in 2003, leaving behind a legacy of memorable performances and a life filled with both triumphs and trials. His story serves as a reminder of the complexities behind the personas we see on screen. As we wrap up our journey through the iconic film Once Upon a Time in the West, we reflect on how this masterpiece shaped the lives of its cast and the film industry. Henry Fonda took a bold step playing the villain, a role that challenged his long-standing image as a hero. Claudia Cardinale's portrayal of Jill McBain broke new ground for female characters in westerns, showcasing strength and resilience. Charles Bronson, who faced personal struggles and loss, found a defining role that resonated with audiences. The film's director, Sergio Leone, faced skepticism, but ultimately created a cinematic experience that redefined the genre. Did you watch this film in your childhood? What memories does it bring back for you? Perhaps it was a family movie night, or a moment that sparked your love for westerns. We invite you to share your stories in the comments below. Your experiences are part of the rich tapestry that makes this film timeless.
I can tell you're accustomed to